When Alinghi headed out for their practice session today, they'd not expected to return like this. For the second time, the Swiss Alinghi Red Bull Racing team had been dismasted. The last time was little over just 2 months ago, on June the 13th. There's very little known about what caused this, or indeed the previous dismasting, but there is a bit of chatter that this was their new mast as well. Under the rules, teams are allowed 1 legacy mast, that's one from a previous 75, and 2 new masts. There is a thought that this was their new mast. That might tally with the fact that they were the only team not to be out practice racing yesterday. Whatever the cause, this is a huge blow for them, with less than 48 hours to go before the first race of the preliminary series that starts on Thursday. To add to the pressure, they're due to be the first match too. Meanwhile, yesterday's practice racing threw up some interesting little nuggets. It would be wrong to read too much into the practice racing, as teams are not obliged to race or indeed to finish. But from what I saw, the Kiwis were blisteringly quick and their mark roundings looked flawless. Until, that is, they crashed out of their race against the British at the top of the second lap. Apparently, I hear that they suffered a systems shutdown. That would tally with what I saw, with a major splashdown and then almost an hour sitting beyond the windward gate. If this was the cause, what this surely says is that even the most experienced teams are not immune from breakdowns. And when they happen, it can be game over, no matter how far in front you are. Later in the day, the Kiwis were back on their feet and raced the Italians, where the two were separated by just 6 to 7 seconds for most of the race. I say most because at one point the Italians fell back to around 20 seconds, yet by the bottom gate the gap was back to 7 seconds. I guess if you're going to learn from practice racing, you want to be close rather than over the horizon. Whatever the reason, it was a great looking race. So too was the match between Ineos Britannia and the French Orient Express racing team. The British won, but only by a few seconds. The French looked very good upwind, but a bit loose downwind. They were quick, but if the amount of spray coming off the foils was anything to go by, there were times when they weren't in as much control as I think they would have liked to be. And then there's the Americans. Hard to tell, but my notes say that while they looked good, the Italians smoked them in the race that I watched. All of which seems to support the dockside chatter that the top dogs at the moment are the Kiwis and the Italians. But we haven't started racing yet, and that kicks off this Thursday.